Hi Dark Knight ROU, how are you doing? Ahmed Amziar, or I'm sorry if I messed that up. The Taken King, how are you doing? You were the third, but nice try anyway. Yo bitch! My favorite video game? I would say Dark Souls, the first one. Hola Richard. Hi. Hello guys, how are you doing? Good to see you. Hello everyone, I'm Santiago. Yeah, I always mess it up. What's the difference between Gaming X and normal gaming? Well, it depends. It's usually a different brand. If you're mentioning the MSI Gaming X, those are usually ones that have those two fans and a very big heatsink. That usually helps a lot. And well, a lot of brands use the gaming word. EVGA uses it too, and those aren't usually as good. For example, the gaming version of the 1060 with one fan is not even close of the cooling of the Gaming X, so you should keep that in mind while shopping for graphics cards. Usually the names don't really matter. And there are many questions. 1060 6GB or 580 8GB? Well, it depends. If you manage to overclock your RX 580 to around 1500 megahertz, that will surely beat the 1060 on many games, but on some others Nvidia has a big leap in performance. GTA 5, for example, is usually much better on Nvidia than on AMD. The CPU overhead there is insane with the RX 470, for example, so I'm not sure. No, I expect to see you to be so white. Why? Maybe the white balance messing things up. I get massive lag spikes with recommended settings for Just Cause 3. What are your specs so I can help you out? That game usually has a lot of issues. Awesome, Mohamed Hedi. I'm sorry if I messed that up. I'm glad that it helped you out. I'm gonna upgrade my 750 to a 1050 Ti. Is worth a shot? Yes, of course. It's a great boost. It's usually twice the performance on most games, and you have 4 gigs of VRAM, so that will make it last much longer. Or if you have more money, maybe an RX 470. That's a better GPU, but you need a better processor to back it up. CPU FX 8350. Es buena para una RX 580, hace cuello de botella. En general los i3 pueden incluso vencer esos octa-cores. I was saying that the FX 8350 usually is beaten by i3s and i5s, modern ones, on gaming with the RX 580, since the low single-threaded performance doesn't help it anyway, so maybe if you are streaming it helps, but on gaming it's not that good, unless you overclock. Giveaway 8 hours left. Yes. If you want to enter the giveaway I made a month ago, it ends in around 8 hours, so I will draw the giveaway there. I'll make a video drawing the giveaway, and if the people don't respond, I will draw it again and say which are the winners on Twitter. 1050 Ti or 1050 Ti overclocked? I will say a 1050 Ti since it's very easy to overclock it manually and you spend less. Can I use a 1050 Ti with my B75M? Let's see. Let's find out. I'll open a tab and check it out. So the B75M, it seems to be an ASRock motherboard. Yes, you can. You have a PCI Express slot, a 16X PCI Express 3.0 slot, so you can use it. Just make sure to have a good enough CPU. I'm sorry, a good enough PSU. At least a 300 watt power supply. Will you test the GT 1030? I'm not sure yet. It didn't arrive to my country, so I cannot really buy it yet. And it's kind of difficult right now. I wish it arrived soon, but here will be around $100, so it should be affordable for me at least. What's the meaning of life? Editing video, that's the meaning of life. ¿Qué hiciste con el Confiable 4150? Armé una PC para mi hermano con eso, por eso me pasé al i3 6100. I was talking about what happened to the i3 4150. My brother needed a PC, so I built one with the i3 4150. That's why I built an i3 6100 for the channel, and that's pretty much what I did. My specs are i3 4160, 8 gigs of RAM, and a 750 Ti. I am the just cause 3%. Well, sorry. If you have only one stick of 8 gigs of RAM, that might be an issue. Dual channel on this game seems to help to have dual channel. The i3 is a big limitation, but you should be able to get 30 frames per second, at least constantly, with the 750 Ti. Try 1080p medium settings, and then just cap the frame rate at 30 using rival tuner. I have a video on that in my channel on how to cap the frame rate, but if you cap it at 30, it should be more stable. But without dual channel, it's kinda difficult to get stable frames on that game. ¿Cómo ves esto armar una PC gamer dentro de 2 años? Y debería ser más barato. Un segundo. Okay, so where did you learn about computers? Tom's Hardware, mostly. I read a lot of Tom's Hardware. ¿Puedo bajar fluidamente Resident Evil 7, una GTX 580? No lo creo. Usa muchísimo más que 2 GB de video, pero si lo pones al mínimo quizá puedas. Lo dudo mucho. Which RX 570 better with i3 6100? I don't know what that means, but I suppose that you mean if the i3 6100 is enough for the RX 570. Yes, it should be on most games. On GTA 5 you might have some issues hitting 60 frames per second due to the CPU, but overall it should be fine on most games. It's pretty much what I get with my G4560 on most of my videos. Where are you from? I'm from Uruguay. It's a country between Argentina and Brazil. A very small country. We are like 3.5 million people, or 4 million, I'm not sure yet. But we are a very small country. Where are you working? Right now, this is my job, for saying it in some way, since I'm also studying. I cannot have a job, do YouTube and study. It will be kind of a mess. So right now I'm doing what I can to make it work. You look pretty good with glasses, boy. Thanks. Those are new. I don't usually need glasses, but this is because I'm many hours in front of a computer screen, so I needed glasses for that, to rest my vision. Can I upload and stream video on my GTX 1050 Ti? Yes, if you use NVIDIA Share, which is Shadowplay, you should be able to stream just fine. Can i3s do live stream? Yes, but maybe on 720p 30 frames per second on a not very high bitrate, because it's a lot of work for the CPU. I recommend using Shadowplay or RE Live if you want to stream with a low-end CPU like those, since it will put a lot of work on the GPU instead. It won't be perfect, but it should be fine. I don't know, if you're playing CSGO, it should be fine, but cap the game at 60 frames per second so the CPU usage is as low as you can, and that should be fine. What is the difference between a GTX 1060, 3GB and 6GB? Are the extra dollars worth it? Yes, of course. Just keep this in mind, the 1060 3GB and the 6GB are not actually the same card. The 6GB card has more CUDA cores, so it's usually performing a little better than the 3GB version, and both have a 192-bit bus. So the main difference is the VRAM amount and the CUDA cores. They have different CUDA core count, but it's not such a big difference. If you overclock the 1060 3GB, you'll be very close to the 1060 6GB performance. But a lot of games nowadays use the 6GB, use more than 3. So if you have the 3GB version, you probably need to lower the texture resolution on most games. But if that's okay for you, just get the 3GB version, but I think that the extra money is worth it. You listen to Taylor Swift? No, I don't like Taylor Swift, at least not all. I don't listen to it every day. I used to like 6 years ago, I think. Why do the Spanish always sas? I don't get it. No sé si probaste el Play a la 750 Ti, estaría bueno que comentes. No, anduvo, lo probé, fíjate en el canal, anda bárbaro. A más de 30 FPS en 720p y 900p, y 1080p da para 30 también. What is the best budget combo? The G4560 and 1050. I would say G4560 and 1050 Ti, or G4560 and RX 570 4GB. GTX 750 Ti good is 2GB. Yes, for now it can hold up, but you need to play at 900p or 720p on some games to get the best performance, and I recommend overclocking it. Overclocking it helps a lot. Do you make videos on an overclocked 1050 Ti or is it stock? It's overclocked, but it's factory overclocked. I'm not sure it's 200 megahertz more, but it's factory overclock. I didn't do the overclock myself. It's just out of the box running like that, but it's very easy to achieve manually. Did I have to buy a 660 Ti now for gaming Full HD? Well, you can still play just fine with a 660 Ti. It's a little better than a 750 Ti. Which RX 470 brand? Sapphire, Nitro Plus, MSI, Asus Strix, better with i3-6100. Well, I would say that the XFX and Sapphire versions are the best. Those are the ones I tested, so I recommend those ones. Bueno, Santiago, tengo un procesador G2030, 750 Ti, 6 GB de RAM. ¿Puedo jugar GTA V o Overwatch en mínimo? Sí, deberías poder jugarlo más bien. El Pentium es lo que me preocupa más que nada, porque GTA V usa muchísimo procesador, pero si lo limitas a 30 FPS deberías estar bien, y bajarle las distancias de visión. Can I achieve 60 frames per second on low 720p with my 750 Ti i5 4460 on the upcoming games, or do I have to upgrade my GPU soon enough? Well, it should be possible to get 60s on 720p if you play at medium settings on most games. There are some that are very demanding that have some issues, but with the i5, 60 frames per second should be possible, without a doubt. Help me please. Okay, ask the question. I'm sorry, I cannot read everything at once. What did you think about the RX 460? At the time that I bought it, it was overpriced, but right now it's much better value if you get it under $100. But now that the RX 560 is out, I would stay away for the RX 460. Since the RX 460 had some stuff blocked, it was just not performing at its best. The RX 560 is different. It has all the stuff unlocked, so you can actually use it at its full potential. So maybe if you get it very cheap, under $100, it should be fine. Entonces, ¿crees que podría correr el Resident Evil 7 con unas 660 2 GB en 720p medios y algunas cosas desactivadas? Sí, debería ser totalmente posible. Solamente bajarle las texturas porque uso un montón de VRAM, de memoria de video. Should I get a 1063GB version? The problem with that is that many games are using more and more VRAM, so you have to lower the textures much more. But if you have the confidence that 3GB will be enough for a long time, I'll go for it. RX 460 versus GTX 1050. Well, Gamers Nexus did an RX 560 review, and the 1050 usually beats the RX 560 on some games. So the RX 460 is usually below the 1050, but what I like about the RX 460 and 560 is that those come with 4GB versions. So that gives you an edge on some games over the 1050, not the 1050 Ti, the 1050, since that usually only comes on 2GB variants, so that should help. Please upload benchmark videos of Injustice 2. The problem with that game is that it's not on PC yet, it's only out of consoles, so you have to play it on PS4 or Xbox One, but I'm sure that in a couple months or maybe 6 months from now we'll get a PC version. You're from Uruguay, right? How's life in there? It's very expensive. Food is very expensive. Everything is very expensive. Even going into a bus is very expensive. So yeah, but so far we are surviving. And it's very cold right now. Did you finish playing Life is Strange? Yes, and I'm excited for the sequel. Te reto a responder sí con preguntas mientras tomas mate. No tomo mate, soy el peor uruguayo del mundo. Soy el uruguayo que no le gusta el mate ni el carnaval. Can we change voices? I don't know, maybe. I have to hear yours first. What if you get swatted now? Probably not. There's no SWAT team in my area. I live very far away from SWAT teams. GTX 1060 3GB 6. I already answered that question. Did you play Dota? Yes, I played Dota 2 and I hated it. Just like League of Legends. MOBAs are not my thing, unfortunately. How to save my money? Just put it into a jar and it will stay there. I'm doing my homework. Can you tell me what quantum physics is? I used to know it when I went to high school. Now I forgot completely, so I recommend looking it up on Google. Your glasses are beautiful. Thank you. I appreciate it. What do you think about the R9 270X? It's still a good GPU? Yes, of course. It's better than a 750 Ti, and it should be close to a GTX 950 if I remember correctly. So yeah, it should still hold up. I recommend the 4GB version so it lasts longer. Will you do videos on the GT 1030? I'm not sure yet. It's not yet arrived to my country, so I cannot really know what the price will be. But if I do, it will be like 3 to 4 videos, probably, and I will compare it with the 750 Ti. Does eGPU restrict gameplay? I don't get it. I'm sorry. Mi pregunta es G4560 ¿hasta qué tarjeta es recomendable? Como máximo una RX 570, como máximo. Y del lado de Nvidia capaz que una 1060, pero esta es un poco limitado. Yo diría una 1050 Ti o 570 en lo posible como máximo. Saludos Mati0770. Lots of your subscribers from India. Do you know about our culture? I'm sorry, about our culture? I used to. Now I don't really, but I can see the analytics and I can see that a lot of people, you're like the top 5 people that watch me are from India, which is kind of insane. You're so far away from where I live. Your experience benchmarking Outlast 2 on different graphics cards. Well, it's a nice story actually. I hate horror games. I get scared pretty easily. So here's the thing, I have a friend that is a fan of horror games, so I invited him over. I played Outlast 2 with him. I was like covering my face every 2 seconds. When I saw the frame rate drop, I told him, wait, I have to see the frame rate. And when I saw that the frame rate was at its worst, I said, well, this is the part I'm going to record. I would see what would happen in the game. I would memorize what would happen. And that's how I made it. I just memorized a part that my friend played, so I couldn't get scared, and ran it many times in a circle. I just used the same save file. Your opinion on esports, do they have a bright future? Yes, I think so. A lot of people are starting to watch esports more and more each day. So I would say, yeah, they have future there. Even what I really find interesting about esports is the fandom behind them. So many people go watch that live. And other things that are very interesting, I don't know, if you imagine there are Intel or AMD or Logitech and want to advertise your stuff, instead of people reviewing it, just put in an esports team and say, hey, this is sponsored by Logitech. It's like, I don't know, like a football team getting Intel shirts. It's so weird to me. Friends TV show, have you watched? Yes, I love Friends. I watch all the episodes, I think. G4560 with 1060, is it a good budget build? Yes, but the 1060 will be limited by the G4560. I recommend playing at 1440p so you take advantage of the GPU. Habla español aunque ya lo hayas hecho, por favor. Español. What TV shows do you watch? I don't have a lot of time to watch TV shows, but I really liked Breaking Bad, and I watched a little Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones. My English sometimes breaks. Game of Thrones was a lot of fun, but I just on season 1, so probably someone will die and someone will spoil it for me, but I don't care. I probably won't finish watching it. What do you think about Assassin's Creed Origins? Another crappy Ubisoft PC port? I don't think so. I think that they will learn their lesson. I mean, on Unity they were very ambitious. There were too many NPCs on screen at all times. On Syndicate they fixed that. The game ran much better. But I think they are just too ambitious with their games. Probably it will run fine if they learn the lesson, but we'll see. Alt F4 y pasar algo mágico. Oh, y si borras la carpeta System32 también. No, Game of Thrones, that's one of the things that people watch it for, but I personally really like the story and discussing with my friends what's going to happen next. It's very, very interesting. Do you often play games or just benchmark them? Well, so far I don't have a lot of time to play games for myself. so I just benchmark them so I can use that time to make videos. I usually use a lot of time to make videos. Yesterday I started like at 6, yes, I had 6 or 7 at night I started, and I finished like at 3 a.m. Since Rising Storm 2 Vietnam beta was out and I didn't know, so I made 2 videos quickly there. So yeah, I usually use my time on benchmarking, going to visit some friends, or just going to class. Class takes a lot of time usually. It could take much longer. This year is kind of light for me. But yeah, not a lot of time to play games. Does YouTube pay well in your country, enough to make a living? Unfortunately not. It's not enough to make a living. It's due to the fact that I live with my parents that I can keep doing this, since I can save up the money. But by my own, I wouldn't stand a chance. Hi Simple, how are you doing? Good to see you. Are you got sponsored? Yes, I'm sponsored by Cam, like I say on all my videos. Una partida de Minecraft de fondo, se siente raro. No lo creo. Notice me. Laptop 256 SSD with 4 gigs of RAM, or 1 terabyte hard drive with 8 gigs of RAM. I would say 1 terabyte hard drive with 8 gigs of RAM with GTX 1050. That would be much better. An SSD is a luxury, if you ask me. Do Molex to 6 8-pin adapters harm the GPU? I don't think so. It would harm the GPU if your power supply is not good enough. There it's kind of difficult. But if your power supply doesn't have one of those connectors, it's kind of difficult to think that it will be enough to power that GPU. But if you have an old power supply, maybe you need one of those. But from my experience, it doesn't harm the GPU. It didn't do anything bad to it. Have you ever smoked weed? No, I never ever smoked anything. Anything. Yeah, I'm stupid. Anything. No. I'm just allergic to smoke, so I cannot smoke really. It would kill me. 1060 or 580? I would say 580 if you can overclock it to its limits. But the 1060 uses less power too, and some games run better, so it's kind of a difficult choice. I would say 580 due to the extra VRAM. Can you play guitar? Because I saw an old video, very, very old. Right now, I'm kind of rusty with the guitar. I haven't played it for around 6 months, but maybe some other time. Shouldn't you make a channel intro? I used to have a channel intro, but I deleted it since I think it's a waste of time. You can really know who I am when I say my name, or try to say my name. But my channel intro used to be my name with some GTA San Andreas stuff in the background. And I don't know, I think it's a waste of time. People just want to see how the game performs, so I just, from 0-0 in the video, the game is visible, there's no interruptions, just straight to the point. I think that's much better. ¿Qué dice el Automaster? No voy a decir esa palabra, capaz que YouTube no sé, me hace algo con mi cuenta. I am Walter White. Do you want any math? No thanks. Jesse! Do you watch Dragon Ball Super? No, but I used to watch the show when I was a kid. Pretty awesome show. What do you study? I study Adobe Premiere Pro, After Effects, and Adobe Photoshop. Right now I'm doing some video editing stuff because I want to get better on those things. Video effects, all that kind of stuff. You should probably add an intro. That's how YouTube works. No, I don't want to add an intro. That's not my thing. Do you have a wife? No, I'm 21 years old, but I have a girlfriend. I don't know if that counts as a wife, but I don't know. Do you have any opinions about Low Spec Gamer? Yes, I think that it's an amazing channel for people that cannot really afford something other than an integrated GPU that comes with your CPU. So I think it's a great channel for people that just want a game but don't want to, or just can't spend on a good GPU. For example, I don't know, I have a G4560, I cannot afford a 1050 Ti or a 750 Ti, and I want to play, I don't know, Metal Gear Solid 5. I don't care about the graphics, I just want the game to play, and I can disable a lot of stuff and play just fine. I think that it's an amazing channel. It's just like he's here with the performance, I'm here if you have a little extra money. Then we have the other channels that have different performance reviews. I think it's a great channel. Does my MSI GPU get rusted? It shouldn't if you have it on a not humid place. Is SSD important? I don't think so. I think it's a luxury, but once you get an SSD, it's very hard to go back. I mean, I have an SSD on my main PC, a 120 gigabytes SSD, only for Windows and some applications. And man, it's just like turn on the PC, turn on the screen, and I'm already on the desktop. It's insane. I mean, once you see that, you cannot go back. Activar el superchat. Creo que en mi región no se puede activar superchat. Competition for G4560. Unfortunately, there's none just yet. AMD will come out with the Ryzen 3, but that will be $120, so it's not really competition, I would say. But we'll see once it releases. Hey Thanos Gate 13, how are you doing? If the GTX 1050 Ti is worth $75 less than the RX 570, is it a good option? Well, maybe. I mean, it uses a lot less power, so if you don't have a good enough PSU, it should be fine. But the 570 on many games, it can beat the 1050 Ti by a lot. ¿Usas lentes? No, son de adorno. Solo los uso para cuando estoy mirando pantallas, porque estoy mucho tiempo frente a pantallas. Can you show us your main PC? Yeah, but it's kind of dark, so I cannot really show it right now. Let me see. 1 second. Yeah, I think I can do it later. It's too dark. I have to do some white balance stuff on the webcam, but I can show you the Ryzen PC if you want. What mic do you use? I use a Blue Yeti. It's a very common mic. What's the time here? It's 5 to 4 p.m. Hello, I am Chandler Bing. Could this be more awkward? Yeah, I remember that. Why don't you grow your hair? Because it's very annoying for me to just brush my hair. I just like to wake up and have my hair in order. Damn, how many PCs do you have? I only have 2, but just keep this in mind. Instead of building many PCs or just changing CPUs many times, I decided to just buy a motherboard, put the CPU there, and when I want to change specs, I just grab a motherboard, swap in the other one, and put the other one in. Just wanted to thank you. You showed me what the best card was for the budget. No problem, I'm glad it helped. Is 1050 Ti good for gaming? Yeah, I would say so. You can play many games with that. Componentes para una PC con Ryzen y no sé, una placa madre, un procesador, una fuente, una tarjeta de video y RAM. Y un disco duro. Shouldn't you make a channel intro? I won't probably, but maybe when I get better at doing special effects, I might do one, but right now I think that it's not a good idea. Will the 1050 Ti bottleneck with G4560 CPU? It depends. On many games it will, but on many others it won't. On GTA 5 you can get 60 frames per second, so that's pretty much good enough for me if you tweak the game correctly. So that should be fine. Ángel Navarro, vivo en Uruguay, Montevideo, capital de la República Oriental del Uruguay. Sí, prometo. Out of all the waifu in Overwatch, who would you tap? That's difficult. I have a girlfriend, so that's kind of inconvenient question for me right now. It starts with D and ends with A. That would help, I think. Hello, my friend. I'm Santiago. Nice to meet you, Santiago. Which languages do you speak? I don't know what it is. I speak English, not natively. I only learned English. And I also speak Spanish. Hablo español también. Hablo inglés y español. I speak English and Spanish. What's your daily driver? Oh, damn it. I cannot see anything. It's moving too fast. What is your favorite game? I would say Dark Souls 1 and Splinter Cell Blacklist. No, I'm sorry. Splinter Cell Chaos Theory. Those are my favorites. GTX 1050 or 1050 Ti? What does the Ti mean? Well, the 1050 is a 2GB variant. and it's a, let's put it like this. The 1050 will be like a GTX 950 in performance, and the 1050 Ti will be like a GTX 960. So the 1050 Ti is around 10 to 20% faster on most games, the Ti version, and it has double the video memory. So you have 4 gigabytes of VRAM there instead of 2. That's pretty much the difference. Would you tap Winston? Yeah, of course, if he's asleep. The Ti means titanium. I'm not sure. There are a lot of rumors about it. I'm not sure which one is true. What glasses are you wearing? Just some glasses that I bought a couple days ago. Not sponsored. Now I just need glasses for computer screens because I'm exposed to computer screens a lot of time. So yeah. The Ti. Yeah, I think that's bullshit. The Ti. It sounds terrible. The 1050 Ti. Nah, I cannot do it. Ti for me is much better. It sounds so cool. Do you have? I won't really answer, Daryl. That's not ad friendly. What will you after this live stream? Probably get some food. I'm hungry. ¿Qué opinas de la GT 1030? Supongo que si pagas un poco más puedes comprar una 1050, así que no sé, tendré que ver cómo rinde. How much all the VGA card on your life? Well, let's take a look. This is a 950 on a 960 on a 1060 cooler. This is what I was talking about when I started the live stream. This is a gaming card. I mean, it's called gaming, but it has only one fan. And it says 1060, but it's a 950, which is stupid. But yeah, that's one of the ones that I have. But the other thing that I was going to mention, my first card was a 9500 GT. So it was a very old card now, but it was always the medium end. My smartphone is an Asus Zenfone 2 laser, because it has a laser, this laser to focus the camera. So yeah. How old are you, man? I'm 21 years old. Will you ever cover emulated games on PC like Breath of the Wild? Yeah, probably. You don't have to write damn it for me to read it. Just put my name, or just put at Santiago, and you'll be able. I'll be able to read it. But as your question was, I'm sorry. Yes, I will do emulated stuff later on. The problem with Breath of the Wild is that it won't get monetized, so I won't get any revenue from it. And I'm on my limited time schedule, so I will wait for the emulator to be better, and then I will test it out on a single video with many CPUs and GPUs. That's pretty much my plan. ¿Crees que sea buena opción actualizar un Phenom 2x4 a un 8350? Sí, sería un gran salto, pero si podés tratar de cambiarte al G4560. O sea, si es para jugar nomás, un G4560, tendrás que cambiar más cosas, pero es bastante genial. Is YouTube your only job? I don't consider it much of a job. Well, technically it's a job, but yeah, I do YouTube, I study, I go to class, and that's pretty much my life right now. I also applied for a job that I'm not yet sure if it will be going to happen. But yeah, that's pretty much what is going on right now. This works because I live with my parents. If not, it would be impossible. I couldn't save up. Have you ever played Zelda Breath of the Wild? I didn't, but I want to. It seems like a very interesting game. A lot of people compare it to Dark Souls, but open world in some way. I'm not sure how to describe it, but it's interesting. Have you ever pirated anything? Yes, of course. Who didn't? In my country, pirating stuff is commonplace, so I would say yeah. But once I was able to afford games, I started buying them like crazy. That's why my Steam library is so big. Do girls like it when you put No, I don't think so. That doesn't seem too pleasant. Do you watch PewDiePie? Yes, sometimes. I really like when he makes fun of the Wall Street Journal. If you could or want to collab with Lowspeed Gamer, would you collab with him in some way? Yes, of course. I think it's a very interesting channel, but I don't see how we could collaborate. I mean, maybe he would say, "Hey, this is what you get without a graphics card, without a dedicated graphics card. But if you can spend a little more, I say this is what you can do with a graphics card." But it will be kind of weird, since people with low spec gamer won't really spend on a GPU, since they probably can't afford it right now. What Ryzen 5 processor for RX 470? Probably the Ryzen 5 1500 or the 1400 if you don't have enough money for the 1500. Do you like Justin Bieber? No, I hate it. Una duda, ¿harás algún día un canal en español? Ya hice un canal en español, pero no tengo tiempo para llenarlo. Le hice 3 videos nomás. Se llama Santiago ES. When did you start into gaming? What was your first game that you ever played? As far as I remember, I started with a Garfield game, a 2D Garfield game on my PC when I was 3 years old. But I only played that. That was the only thing that I had. Then I met a friend that presented me with a PS1. So I got a PS1 on the year 2000, like 17 years ago. Then I played PS1, PS2, some PC games like CS 1.6. Well, that's pretty much what I started on a PC like 19 years ago. Con una fuente de 500 watts 80 plus podría usar una 1070. No sabría decirte. No sé cuánto pide una 1070, pero debería ser posible. Si no le haces overclock. He is sponsored by Cam. Lol. Daryl is hilarious. Should I buy a 1063GB or 6GB? Well, if you can afford the 6GB version, I will go with the 6GB. Is AMD A6 5400K APU good for gaming? If you don't have a GPU, probably yes. But if you have a GPU, I would opt for something better. Something with higher IPC. I'm sorry, there's a bug flying here. I don't know, it's annoying me. I meant to say what Ryzen 5 processor for a 470 streaming, editing, and gaming. Oh, okay. Well, if you want streaming and gaming, I would say a Ryzen 5 1600. That has 6 cores, 12 threads. That's enough for streaming plus gaming at the same time. So that would be a good sweet spot. Maybe you should try sponsored videos. I don't think so. Man, answer me. Will a Core i5 7500 bottleneck at 1060 6GB? You should be fine. I mean, some games like GTA 5 will be limited if you try to go to over 80 frames per second, but so far with that it should be fine. I love my integrated graphics because I can play games at 10 frames per second at 800 by 600. You can't do that with a 1080 Ti, so get wrecked. Yes, of course. That's probably what I was thinking the whole time. Have you watched The Big Bang Theory? Yes, of course. I really like that show, but it kind of got stale a few months ago. I don't really like it that much anymore. I won't talk about politics. I'm sorry, Rage1 can. I'm sorry if I messed that up. Di algo en español. Algo en español. Saludo, mate. 2 puntos, B corta. Ah. Does FPS matters? Yes, of course. But some people prefer... I mean, some people don't need 60 frames per second, and I can respect that. Am I missing something? Just got here. Yeah, you missed a lot, but don't worry. I will keep this uploaded so you can watch it later if you want. Tell which is best game ever. Hard to tell. I like many games, but I would say Counter-Strike 1.6. Can I buy a 1050 Ti 4GB or 2GB for budget? I would say a 1050 Ti would be a better choice. What games are you playing right now and actually enjoying? Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of time to play games, but when I do, I play Rainbow Six Siege with a friend. I play some short matches, and I also enjoy playing Witcher 3. I finished the game, but I'm going to play the DLC soon, when I have time. I'm like 3 months ago I started playing the DLC and I stopped playing, so I need some time to play that too. Ryzen 7 1700 Ryzen 7 1700 overclocked plus RX 580 good combo. Yes, of course. It should be fine. He will answer it when he says I don't get it. Fallout 4, which shadow maps do you use? I use them on Ultra because I don't know. I don't like seeing the shadows popping up in front of me. It annoys the crap out of me. Best multiplayer games. Well, you have a lot of them in the internet. I would say CSGO, Rainbow Six Siege are my top priorities now, but a lot of people enjoy Overwatch. Do you advise waiting for Ryzen 3 or buy a G4560? The thing is that I don't expect Ryzen 3 to beat the G4560 in gaming, but if you're planning to do more things apart from gaming, the Ryzen 3 should be very close overall. Hola Federico Roquant, ¿cómo estás? Which is the best motherboard? Hard to tell, it depends on what you need. You don't have to spend a lot of money on a motherboard. Enter the giveaway and I'm back. Yes, you made it. What is the best GPU you own? Probably the RX 480 and the GTX 1060. Those are the best I own right now. Which motherboard best? MSI H170 or B250? I would say the B250 would be a better choice. You can have higher RAM frequencies. Which is better, R9 380 or 750 Ti? The R9 380. That will be closer to a 1050 Ti, so the R9 380 will be better. Did you finish Nier Automata? No, I didn't. I didn't have time to play that. I just recorded benchmarks for it and had to delete it. I cannot play it. I don't have enough time. What is your real name? My real name is Santiago. That's all I can say. Habla en español, please. Puss. Does the orange chair in the background run games? Not yet, I still have to overclock it. Favorite song right now? I would say Kids Aren't Alright. That's one I really like. GTX 1050 Ti y GTX 1050 Ti Pentium G4560, ¿cuánto puede durar? Imposible saber, yo diría que te durarían hasta que muera el Play 4. 1v1 me. No, I can't. I suck. Do you like the current consoles? Yeah, I would say so. I like the games that there are there. What I don't like is that they usually have performance issues, but they opted for a very crappy CPU, so that's no surprise. Can I join your Steam group? Yes, go ahead. Azam, just thermal paste. Thermal paste is more effective. Can you please say... No, I won't say that. I don't know what it means, so I prefer to avoid that. Do you have a daily schedule? Yeah, sometimes. Do you own any console? Are you a peasant? I own a PS3 and I recently got a PS4 since I like the Uncharted games, but I play PC for much longer. I only have like 2 games on consoles. When you started your YouTube career? Well, I wouldn't say our YouTube career, but I just started making videos on benchmarks because I enjoyed it and it got much bigger, so nice. I really enjoy doing benchmarks. I would say it started on September 2014. There it went more seriously. I made videos more often. I made a Dead Rising 3 video on a 750 Ti and a Core 2 quad, and that's pretty much where I started. Cringy. Why? I'm not uncomfortable at all. ¿Qué programa usas para ver los frames en tus gameplays? Uso NZXT Cam o MSI Afterburner. Depende de qué juego, cómo lo agarre el juego, el programa. You live in Spain? No, I live in Uruguay. I live in South America, between Argentina and Brazil. Paroni 54440. ¿Hasta qué tarjeta me recomiendas? Una 1060 o una RX 580. Giveaway a 1080 Ti. I cannot even afford a 1080 Ti. Can you overclock your glasses? If so, can it run Minesweeper on ultra settings? Well, it depends. First, I have to add more RAM to them, since they only have like 12 megabytes, something insane like that. I cannot even run Doom. But yeah, probably later, a benchmark video coming on. i7 or Ryzen 7? Probably Ryzen 7. if you can afford it. I mean, Ryzen 7 usually costs less and you have more cores, so I will go for Ryzen 7. What internet cost in there? Well, internet used to be very expensive here. Then we got fiber, and when fiber came in, it was much cheaper. So I would say, hard question. I think it's $40 for 60 megabits per second download at 12 megabits per second upload, which is much cheaper than it used to be. But yeah, you are pretty famous among Indian gamers. Well, that's pretty interesting actually. I wasn't expecting that. But the analytics say the same thing, that a lot of people in India watch me. What's your internet speed? 60 megabits per second download at 12 megabits per second upload. Is overclocking GPU better? Yes, of course, you get better performance. ¿Qué tarjeta gráfica va a rendir mejor para el futuro? 1060, 470 o 480. 1060 o 480. La 480 probablemente un poco más por los 8 GB de video. I like you, man. Keep it up. Thank you. I'll keep it up. He's asking best CPU for 1060 1080p. I'm sorry, I cannot read everything. Best CPU for 1060 1080p, I would say an i5 7400 or better, or an i5 4460, or a Ryzen 5 1400. Notice me, senpai. Oh, I already noticed you. Thanks to Daryl. Yes, you did it. I don't have a question, but just wanted to tell you that your videos are amazing and I can always count on you for reliable benchmarks. Thanks, man. I really appreciate it. Monica Geller or Rachel Green? Kinda difficult. Monica is married, so I will go for Rachel. I am using super duper imagination to watch this stream. Awesome, man. You probably aren't even hearing me. I have 312 kilobits per second download. I used to, like 10 years ago. It was awful. Fortunately, we got fiber. Do you watch Jay's 2 Cents or Linus Tech Tips? And what do you think about Terry Crews Allspice PC? Yes, I watch both channels. I'm subscribed to them. I watch pretty much all the videos they make. I think that Jay's 2 Cents inspired me to do GPU reviews, which they were pretty awesome. I laughed a lot watching those reviews. I really like the Allspice build for Terry Crews. I laughed a lot with the joke they played on him, where they say, "Oh, we didn't get the reaction recorded." That was hilarious. Are you gonna be available on Steam after this? I would like to talk. Yeah, probably. Or just comment on my channel. I'll be responding immediately, I think. Or just follow me on Twitter and send me a private message. Tell me what's the best deal, AMD RX 580 8GB or 4GB, I would say, or 1063 GB. I will go for the 580 4GB. Why this stream is on 360p? Is it for peasants? It's not on 360p. I can go as far as 1080p on my YouTube page. So just refresh the page. Chandler or Joey? Joey, all the way. Joey. 1440p for life, man. Yeah, man. That's why I don't live stream on Twitch. People that don't have good enough connections wouldn't be able to watch me. Santiago, can I ask you a very serious question? It depends. But yeah, go ahead. ¿Qué tarjetas Radeon equivale a una 1050 Ti? No hay un equivalente perfecto. Hay una que es un poco mejor y cuesta parecido, que es la RX 470. Do you own a pet? Yes, I own 3 dogs and a cat. But Joey doesn't share food. That's why I make my own. Santiago, una RX 570 4 GB. ¿Iría bien con unos G4560 para jugar todo en 60 FPS High Ultra? No, todos 60 FPS no, pero muchos juegos van a llegar a 60. I'm not ignoring anyone. Just ask the question and put my name next to it. How did you overclock your i5 7400? I didn't overclock it. I never did. It's impossible to overclock it. It's a locked processor. I have only one PC. My CPU is 4460. Should I stream with my graphics card or CPU? I would say the graphics card. That would be a better choice. You could be playing a more intensive game. Just try with NVIDIA Share. That usually uses more GPU. Do you have an iPad? No, I don't like iPads. Show us your pets and your PC. My pets are not available right now. They are sleeping, I think. And my PC is running right now, but I can show you this one right here in a second. ¿Cuántas PCs tienes? Tengo dos, pero hay una que le cambio muchas partes. Sí, arranqué solo con la 750 Ti. ¿Vas al gimnasio? No, lo dejé hace hace como 8 meses lo dejé, debería volver. Oh man, so many comments. Should I upgrade from 4 GB of RAM to 8 GB of RAM for gaming? Yes, you should. A lot of games need the extra thing. How do I overclock my blankets? I want to sleep warmer. Well, you just peel some wire, put it around the blanket, then put it on the sun, then light it on fire, then put water on it, then throw some eggs like How to Basic, and that should do. Rebutal fidget spinner. No thanks. I prefer to stay away from trending topics. Steam name? You can find it on my channel. Reply this please. This please. Reply this please. Reply this. Is it a cheap MPS a bad idea? I'm not sure what you mean. I have a MacBook and believe on console master race. You triggered? No, not really. I'm not really triggered for the decisions that other people make. How do you handle the fame? Which fame? What the fuck? Overclocked fidget spinner. Well, you can see overclocked fidget spinners on YouTube. There are over 100,000 RPMs. How many languages do you speak? Only 2, English and Spanish. ¿Me recomiendas una 570 con un i3? Sí, es totalmente jugable. Is CPU G3250 3 GHz good for gaming? Right now, not very much due to open world games. They are usually very demanding on the CPU, and that can be, well, you will encounter a lot of stuttering. So I wouldn't really recommend it. But many games can work just fine. Samsung or Apple? Samsung is cheaper. RX 480, 570 or 1060 3GB. I would say a 570. It will be cheaper than the 480 and perform very similar. My GPU lags when I overclock. Solution please, don't overclock. Is a cheap generic power supply a bad idea? Yes, it's a bad idea. If there's any problem with the current or where the power is drawn from, you have a lot of issues. You might just fry everything. I mean, that power supply wouldn't be able to... If there is a problem with the power just from the wall, it wouldn't be able to stop the extra electricity to go to your PC and destroy your components. Ever used a Noble Skid Row or any driver crack ever? Yes, of course. When I couldn't afford games around 10 years ago, yes, I did. Then I started buying games because that's what you do. When it takes a lot of effort to make games, so I pay for them. But I used to not to because I was a stupid kid and I didn't have money. That's the main reason. What power supply do you have? Those are listed in the descriptions of all my videos. Do you like LG as a smartphone brand? Yes, they have good screens and good cameras, usually. How to get constant 60 FPS on GTA 5, i3 2100, 1050 Ti? I don't think that you will. I mean, the i3 2100 won't be enough for 60 FPS on GTA 5. ¿Tu juego favorito cuál es? Dark Souls 1 y Splinter Cell Chaos Theory. Say my name. Notorious B.I.G. ¿Me recomendarías un G4560 1050 Ti para jugar todos los juegos en 1360 x 768? Sí, por supuesto. Y gracias por el saludo. Funciona lo más bien. Do you have Netflix? Yes, of course. Who doesn't? Santiago, in my opinion, MacBooks are the best, and my opinion is the only opinion that is right, and everyone who supports PC is wrong. Okay. Nice. ¿Me recomiendas una RX 570 con i3? Sí, ya te dije que sí. Say my name, bitch. Sorry, I love you. Don't hate me. No, I don't hate you. Don't worry. Hating is not something that I'm capable of. by a YouTube comment. Can you make a video about overclocking an an A5 5400K APU, please? I'm sorry, but I can't. I don't own that stuff. Who's your favorite singer and song? I like Avenged Sevenfold, or whatever it's called. And I like... what was the name of the song? I always forget the name. I don't remember right now. But I like Avenged Sevenfold. Me compré una 1060 con i5 y me anda mal, es decir, a 50-40 FPS en Ultra en Battlefield. ¿Cuál Battlefield? Si es el 1, lo puedo entender. Probá, si no tenés RAM en Dual Channel, ese es el tema. Creo que ese debería ser la solución. Tener RAM en Dual Channel. Do you like Better Call Saul? I watched the first season, but I didn't really catch up much with it. Maybe I will watch it later, but right now I didn't really enjoy it that much. Do you like football? Yes and no. I like playing it, but watching it seems kind of dull to me. Say my name. Assassino Gaming. I'm Italian. Por más buena que sea la PC, da caídas de FPS en Batman Arkham Knight. Sí, correcto. En el i7 con la 1060 y un SSD igual tengo caídas. Hi, how are you doing? I'm doing fine, thank you. How about you? B350 or X370? Well, it depends on what you want. If you want just overclocking, get the B350. The X370 will be a good choice if you want to do SLI or Crossfire. But the novel or any type of crack is better than pre-ordering a game. Let me make a joke. Mass Effect Andromeda. I get it. Santiago, do you like the Netflix Marvel series? Yes, of course. I mean, I watched very little of it, but I enjoyed it so far. ¿El Pentium G4560 va mejor con RAM Dual Channel que con una sola de 8? Sí, por supuesto. En juegos como Battlefield 1 es una gran diferencia. Battlefield or Call of Duty? So far, I like Battlefield for multiplayer. I like Call of Duty for campaign and zombie mode. How's it going? It's going fine, thanks. Decís que me compre más RAM. Tengo 8 en single channel para jugar Battlefield 1. Claro, ese es el problema. Si agregas otros 8 GB de RAM, va a estar en dual channel. Eso debería arreglar los problemas de caídas que tenés en el juego. Have you seen Prison Break? Yes, I'm a fan of Prison Break. I watched the whole series and I'm now up to date with the latest ones. It's very interesting. Call of the Battlefields. That will be an awesome game. Best Assassin's Creed game name, Assassin's Creed 2 and Assassin's Creed 4. Muchas gracias. No, de nada, por favor. A las órdenes, tocayo. Say my name so loud that everyone have to lower their volume. I don't think so. Sorry about that. ¿De dónde sos? Hablas miti. Soy de Uruguay, hablo inglés y español, por supuesto. Reply me. Ask again. I'm sorry, I cannot see everything. I missed some comments. Say my name, also nice haircut. Android player. And thank you. Favorite YouTuber? Hard to tell. I would say, let me see my list of YouTubers. I have different favorite YouTubers for different things. For game reviews, I really like Angry Centaur Gaming, ACG. Then for performance stuff, I like Digital Foundry when they are doing some reviews on different stuff. And then for just Let's Plays, I enjoy... What was the name of this? Far From Subtle. Far From Subtle. I also like Easy Allies. I like a lot of YouTubers. Do you find making benchmarking components hard? Not really. I really enjoy it. Man. What video editor do you use? I use Adobe Premiere Pro. What's happened, man? Leo, what's happened? For the third time, is 300 watt enough to run at 1063 gigabytes? I wouldn't really count on it. But sorry if you asked 3 times, but I cannot read all comments, so understand that, man. Step on my shoes a little. Si tengo un i5 4440 más 1050 Ti GB, me iría bien una... Sí, 400 watts te sobra. Te sobra. Estarías lo más bien. Sí, debería tener doble channel. Fíjate si no en la página web de la placa madre. Ahí te debería decir. May I recommend Angry Joe Show for game reviews? Yes, the thing with Angry Joe Show is that he's not really up to date. I mean, just think about it. ACG just... When a game releases, he always has a review there very quickly. I mean, I like Angry Joe. I really enjoy his reviews. But man, he takes a while to review stuff. I mean, it's worth the wait, but I only watch him for laughs nowadays. I used to watch him more seriously, but now it's kind of... Love you, but only as a bro. Thanks, man. I love you too as a bro. Here's a challenge. Say... That's a good challenge. Shout out to Bartith, or whatever that means. What will you do with graphics cards that are not being used? I'm using all of them, so if I'm not using one, I'll just sell it. But, well, I have to go. It's been 1 hour, as I promised in the title. I'll be making more streams like this one if you enjoy them. I really did enjoy it, so if you do, please let me know, because I can know what to do. So yeah, that should be pretty much it. Eso sería todo por hoy. Si les gustó este directo, díganmelo, así hago más de este tipo, porque me pareció que fue bastante divertido, dentro de todo. Y bueno, pasó 1 hora y eso fue todo por hoy. Eso es lo que decía en el título. Así que bueno, nos vemos en la próxima y gracias por mirar. I see you next time. Y Bruno Miguel, escribime en el comentario de YouTube y te respondo, porque no puedo leer todo. Thanks for watching and see you guys next time. Bye.